STR is pleased to be today's sponsor of the general session. I would like to direct your attention to the screen to introduce the best-selling author, Susan Sweeney, who has also recently launched today, hot off the press, 101 Ways to Promote Your Tourism Business Website. Please join me in welcoming Susan Sweeney.
Susan Sweeney is the founder and president of Connex Network Incorporated, a thriving internet marketing and e-business consulting firm. Susan holds both her chartered accountant and certified general accountant designations, and is an experienced internet marketing professional with a background in computers, marketing, and the internet. Sweeney is the author of the highly regarded and successful internet marketing book, 101 Ways to Promote Your Website, which has sold well over 50,000 copies. Her book, Internet Marketing for Your Tourism Business, has received rave reviews from many tourism industry professionals. Other books include 101 Internet Businesses You Can Start From Home, The E-Business Formula for Success, and Going for Gold. As an international trade commissioner, Susan advised many information technology and other industries on exporting and international marketing of their products and services. Susan instructs individuals with her enthusiastic personality, combined with her vast hands-on international marketing experience, which keeps her listeners informed and captivated. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Susan Sweeney.
Thank you very much. How many of you remember your first car? Did you have a name for that first car? Mine was Mabel. And Mabel was a beautiful, shiny, candy apple red Camaro. And that thing glistened inside and out all the time. Now, as memorable as Mabel was for me, I particularly remember my first experience with a Standard. How many of you drive a Standard? That's a totally different ballgame, isn't it? With a Standard, you can really feel that Standard. And just, changing the gears and the sounds that it makes, just a totally different experience. I learned how to drive a Standard on my then boyfriend Gary's Scout International. That's a rugged old vehicle. It was 10 years old and he had bought it for off-roading. Now, this vehicle, it was white when you could see the white because it was usually full of mud and muck and everything else from the off-roading. It had great big tires. It had no back seat. He had removed the back seat. It had no roof. No, it wasn't a convertible. He had taken an arc welder and removed the roof, so it was a permanent convertible. And he had taken the front seats out and replaced them with swivel seats. Anybody remember the old Monte Carlo that used to have the swivel seats? Well, he had put these swivel seats in the Scout, and they swiveled all the way around. Now, I remember in particular, the third time I drove that vehicle. The first two times I drove the vehicle were my lessons, my training on the Standard. And Gary's a pretty good teacher. He gave me the formula: clutch, shift, clutch, gas. Clutch, shift, clutch, gas. Clutch, shift, clutch, gas. So I had the formula down, and, he taught me on a flat, level country road. So I was pretty good. I thought I had this thing aced. No problem at all. I can drive a Standard, no problem. Well, then the third experience with the Standard came along. And Gary and I had been off-roading and on a Sunday, and I don't even remember what it was about, but we had this bet, and the loser had to wash and wax the other person's car. Of course, I didn't lose. So the next day, I was driving to my office. So as I was driving to the office, I thought, not being one to gloat much, I thought today would be a good day to have my gift, my prize, which was to have the car washed and waxed. So I drove to Gary's parents' house and saw the Scout was backed into the driveway. So I went inside the house, took the keys, took his Scout out of the driveway and parked my nice Camaro in its place. Went inside and found some notepaper and wrote Gary a little note. Dear Gary, I'd like to have the premium wash and wax, please. And don't forget to armor all the tires and the inside. I'll be back at 5 to pick it up. Love, Susan. So with that, I took his Scout and with a smug look on my face, drove to my office and parked in the underground parking. So at around lunchtime that day, I came out And as I was leaving the office, Judy, the receptionist, asked if she could catch a ride up the hill. Now, Judy, you'd have to picture Judy. Judy was just a bombshell. She always looked like she came off the cover of Vogue magazine. You know those people? Tall, impeccable hair, impeccable makeup. Her shoes always matched her outfit, and today was no different. She had beautiful white and red shoes that matched her glistening, beautiful, well-tailored white outfit that had a little red belt and a little red kerchief. So, sure, Judy, come on, I'll give you a ride up over the hill, no problem at all. So off we went, down the elevator and into the underground parking. Well, as we came across the underground parking garage, I remembered that I wasn't driving my nice, shiny red Camaro that Judy loved to catch a ride up over the hill in. No, it wasn't Mabel. It was Rambo, the rugged scout that was full of mud and muck from the day before. So I said, well, Judy, you might not want to catch a ride with me today because I'm driving Gary's off-roading vehicle. Oh, that's no trouble at all, she said. And but when she caught a glimpse of the vehicle, I could tell that there was a definite problem with her getting in that. But I did notice that when she got in the car, she did not put the seatbelt on. Too muddy and greasy for her beautiful white outfit. Now, that would probably be bad enough for anybody else, but then I had to turn on the vehicle. And I did not want to turn on that vehicle. I had driven it into that underground parking garage, that underground concrete parking garage. Now think about it. A 10-year-old vehicle, 10-year-old muffler, used off-roading, and we're in an underground concrete parking garage. It was just an echo chamber. But I turned on the vehicle, vroom, 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 vroom. So it was just absolutely, Judy was mortified. But then I came out of the parking garage as quickly as I could and started up over the hill. Now, this is not an ordinary hill. This was like a San Francisco type hill. This was like a Mount Everest type of hill, except it had an intersection about a third of the way up with a traffic cop. You know where this is going. So I was hoping that that cop was just going to let us keep on going, and I was praying that he was just going to let us keep on going, but sure enough, he stopped the car directly in front of me. Then I started to sweat because I had never started a standard on a hill before. Okay, Susan, you can do this, you can do this. Just remember the formula. Clutch, shift, clutch, gas. Okay, I already had part of it done because I had the clutch shifted into first, so I only had to remember a little piece of that formula now. Clutch, gas, clutch, gas, clutch, gas. I only had to remember half of it. But I thought, oh my God, I'm going to roll back over this hill. I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, the cop didn't look like he was in too much of a good mood, so I didn't want to just park and get out and leave the car. I looked at Judy, and Judy was mortified because there were all kinds of pedestrians traveling both sides of the street, and this isn't a vehicle that she was used to riding, so she was mortified. And then I looked behind me, looked in the rearview mirror. There was a nice, new, shiny, black Mercedes parked immediately behind me, and he was up real close. So the guy had a smile on his face, and all I could picture was, the monster trucks. I could just picture this scout going back over his vehicle, and that smile was going to be completely wiped from his face. Well, it seemed like no time at all. The cop said, okay, he waved us on. The car in front of me went immediately ahead. So then I was stuck. Oh my God, if I go back, I'm going to roll over this guy, or I'm going to at least hit him. Just remember, clutch, gas, clutch, gas, clutch, gas. I knew I had to go. So I let out on the clutch a little bit, let in on the gas, and you know what happened. You start that bucking motion with the car, and I knew that I had to really get going because I was gonna roll back. So I just let out the clutch and really let go on the gas. Off I went, wheels spinning, and Judy's swivel seat swiveled. That bombshell went sailing past my eyes. But I was moving. The cop yelled, and I didn't know what he was saying, and I wasn't going to stop on a hill again. So I got to the top of the hill, turned, and stopped in front of Judy's apartment on that flat surface. Finally. Oh, Judy. Poor Judy was in a slump at the back. She had gone immediately in about 3 seconds from bombshell to Broomhilda. Her hair was a mess, no longer impeccable. Her glasses were all over the place, and that white, beautiful outfit was full of grease and mud, and she just looked a mess. Well, thankfully, that day, Judy, the only thing that was hurt on Judy was her pride. She got out of the vehicle and all was well. Now, I learned a very important lesson that day. I learned that just because I knew how to drive an automatic didn't mean that I knew how to drive a standard. There's a different formula for driving the standard. And it's really, really important to know that formula and practice that formula. And it's similar to online and offline marketing. There are some similarities to marketing online and offline. Some similarities, but there's some very important differences. Marketing online is very, very different, and there's a different formula for marketing online. What happens in your office? Just think about it. Do you have people in your office who've been trained to market offline, and you just automatically expect that you're going to throw them into this online world and they're going to know how to market effectively online without being given the formula? That happens way too often. It's exactly the same as taking somebody in your office out of that automatic, throwing them in the standard, and expecting them to drive and to drive well. So what I'm going to do with the rest of the time that I've got with you is I'm going to talk about the formula for being successful online. There is a very definite formula. One of my books is called The Formula for E-Business Success, and it's basically this. The first thing is that you've got to have the right e-business model. People need to be able to, if you're selling online, people need to be able to buy what they want, when they want, how they want, and it's got to be super easy. Now, as destination marketing organizations, although a lot more of you are selling room nights online, there are still a lot of you that are not selling online. But you still have to have the right e-business model. What is it that you want people to do when they visit your website? Is it to fill out that RFP for the convention or the meeting? Is it that you want them to pick up the phone? Do you want them to join your e-club? What is it that you want them to do? So you've got to have your site designed around your e-business model. How are you going to do business with the people that visit your site? So you have to have the right e-business model. The next thing that you have to have is the right website. And the right website really is a whole lot of different things. And there have been a lot of speakers here at the session. I've attended a number of them. So you've gotten a lot of great information already. So I'm going to give you a little bit of information about the website. The very first thing that always happens with everything online is TOP. First thing is your target markets. You need to know your target markets. There's no such thing as a traveler. It's a senior, it's an eco-tourist, it's an adventurer, it's family vacation. But your target markets, you need to know them all. You've got the conventions, the meeting planners. You've got group tours. There are all kinds of different target markets that you're going after. So you need to really know every single one of them. And for each one of those target markets, you need to drill down. For each one of those target markets, what are their needs? What do they need to be able to make that buying decision to decide that your destination is where they want to go? What are their needs? What are their wants? What kind of information would they like to have, and how would they like to have that? Do they want to have it in text? Do they want to have it as a video? Do they want to have it in graphics, bullet form? How do they want that information? Needs, wants, and expectations. Consumers' expectations today are going absolutely through the roof. Once somebody visits 3 different websites, if they see something new on those 3 different websites, it then becomes an expectation. And expectations are growing exponentially on the web these days. The consumer today is very, very demanding. Like I say, they want what they want, when they want, how they want it yesterday, and they want it at the best price. So you need to know all of your different target markets. The next thing that you need to do is you need to identify, quantify, document all of your objectives. And your objectives are, generally, you're going to want to have people to come to your destination. You're going to want to have them choose you as their destination of choice. But there are many other objectives that you need to document as well. Because if you're going to build this website, you might as well build it to achieve all of your objectives. So things like branding, providing good customer service, having it optimized for the search engines. You want to be found by the search engines. Having people come back to the website on an ongoing basis. Having people give you permission, join your e-club, those types of things. There are all kinds of different objectives that you'll have. You really need to brainstorm, document them, and discuss them with your web developer to make sure that your website is going to help you achieve all of your objectives. And the next thing that you need to document is your products and services. What are all the products and services that you're promoting in your destination? Everything revolves around these 3 things. Your website is going to revolve around these three things, but also your traffic generation strategies are going to revolve around these three things. So very important that you get these things done and done properly. So the TOP, target markets, objectives, products, and services. The next thing that you need to have in terms of a website is that it needs to be search engine friendly. You need to optimize that site for the search engines. 85% of people, when they're doing their research on where they're going to choose to have that meeting, they're going to go online to do that research. If your site does not appear at the top of the search results when they key in those relevant words in the search engine, you're not going to have the opportunity to get their business. So you need to make sure that your site is optimized for the search engines. Now, everything related to the internet all comes back to a formula. Everything has a formula. Search engine optimization is no different. When you optimize a site for the search engines, you just need to know how the search engines work. And the search engines all work on a formula. It's basically a test. Whoever scores the highest number of points gets that top placement in the search results. So you need to know how the search engines work. The first thing that they look for is the keyword placement. So the keyword phrase that somebody searched on. They're looking for that keyword phrase in different places throughout the individual pages of your site. And this part of the formula is done on a page-by-page basis. So they're looking for that keyword phrase in the title on your page. They're looking for it in the text throughout the page. They're looking for it in the alt tags, the headers, the meta tags. There's all kinds of places that they're looking for. You just need to know what those places are. The second part of the formula is link popularity and link relevancy. So the search engines basically are saying that if a lot of websites out there are providing a link to your website, you must be pretty good, because nobody provides a link to a junky site. So they give you points for that. But then they take it to a number of different levels. They take your link popularity, how many sites are linking to you, but also they look at the relevancy of those links. If the links pointing to you are other tourism sites, those are relevant and those are valuable. You get more points. If it's, your sister-in-law's beauty salon, that's not so relevant. You don't get as many points. They're looking for if the keyword phrase that's being searched on is in the text around the link pointing to your website. So they go fairly extreme in these points on link popularity. And then they've got a whole other section, which is all the miscellaneous points. They're looking at things like how old your domain name is. Have you been around a long time? Have you proven yourself? How long do you own your domain name into the future? If you're buying it only a year at a time, that kind of says you might be a spammer. You're not planning to be around for a long period of time. So own it for the next 10 years. They're looking at how often you update the content on your website. They're looking for how clean the code is. Are there any programming errors on your site? They're looking at where you're hosting that. They're looking at how much traffic you get. So there are a lot of miscellaneous points as well. So once you know what the formula is, you can then make sure that your site is designed to get you the highest score possible and to get you that top placement in the search results. All comes back to a formula. Another part that's very important for your website is the repeat traffic. Nobody does business with you first time around. So you need to give them a reason to come back to visit your website again and again and again. So you need to have those repeat traffic generators on your website. And there are many, many forms of repeat traffic generators. It can be podcasts that you keep adding to your site on a regular basis, your e-specials, your packages. It can be your newsletter. It can be all kinds of different things. But you need to have something that is going to make sure that the target market comes back to your website on an ongoing basis. The next thing that you need to have, here's an example of Visit Florida. I was out in the trade show area. There are all kinds of fabulous exhibitors there, and Miles Media was showing me the Visit Florida, the new Visit Florida site. They've got a number of things. So they've got a contest, they've got an auction, all kinds of great things. So just make sure that the repeat traffic generators that you use on your site are appropriate given your objectives, your target markets, and your products and services. The next thing that you need to have on your website is permission marketing. And permission marketing is getting people to give you permission to send them email on a regular basis. Anybody who visits your website is part of your target market. Don't let them leave without giving you that permission. Do whatever it takes. And again, there's a formula for permission marketing. With permission marketing, what you want to do, you've got things on your website, and you've also got things that relate to the outbound communication that you've got. So when you're asking people to give you permission, make sure that it's very obvious that you've got this opportunity for them. Have it above the fold so that they don't have to scroll down to find where they can sign up and give you that permission. Have it on every single page because you don't know where people are going to enter your website. every single page of your website is probably going to be found through the search engines, so they may enter your website through other than the home page. So have that permission marketing on every single page. Always ask for the first name, because if you're going to send them an email, you want to personalize that email. And hi Susan, hi Jane, hi Betty gets a much higher response rate than dear friend. You can't do the personalization unless you ask for that first name. Have an e-club. The e-club gives you permission to send them a number of different things. The next round of legislation is likely going to say you can only send people the specific information that they ask to receive. So have an e-club which they can join to get member-only benefits, special advance notice, your newsletter, your e-specials, those types of things. But you're asking for umbrella permission. Give them some incentive to join your e-club. Sell the sizzle. Get them excited about what they're going to get. Don't say join our e-club or sign up to receive our newsletter. You got to really sell the sizzle to get them excited about it. And you've got to use really good mail list software that has a spam filter, a spam checker inside, so that you can make sure that your email is not going to be picked up by the spam filters as it goes out. And what you want to do is build your list. Really concentrate on building that list. It takes just as much time to send an email to 100 people as it does to 1 million people. So what you want to do is make sure that you build that list as big as you possibly can. Do whatever it takes. So if you participate in a trade show, instead of just having a gift where they can put in their card, say, join our e-club and be included in the draw. You've got a little form that you received on the inside. It's the same type of thing. It's a great little thing that you can put your notes on today. But if you want to receive my free newsletter, what you do is just tick off that, put your name and email address on it, and put it on a flat surface as you're leaving the room. So what you want to do is think about all the different places that you interact with your target market. Think about how you can get more people to give you that permission. What you want to do with that permission marketing is you want to build a profile. You want to know more about every single person that has given you that permission so that you can send more relevant emails out to them. What you want to do is do dynamic personalization. Dynamic personalization is where you know the priorities and preferences and interests of everybody within that database, and then every communication that you send out to that individual is tailored to their specific interests. But you need to be very careful with this. Sometimes people will spook their target market. If your target market knows that you know too much about them, they'll unsubscribe. They just don't like knowing that people know too much about them. So although you need to build a profile, you need to gather that information, you need to be very careful about how you use that information. I'm just going to show you a little example.
Piece of Palace, guaranteed to have 30 minutes or it's free. This is Mary. May I take your order?
Hi, Mary. Yes, I'd like to order.
This is Mr. Kelly?
Yes?
Thank you for calling again, sir. I share your national identification number as 610-204-999-8-45-54610. Is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly. I see you live at 736 Montrose Court, but you're calling from your cell phone. Are you at home?
I'm just leaving work, but I'm...
Oh, we can deliver to Bob's Auto Supply. That's at 175 Lincoln Avenue, yes?
No, I'm on my way home. How do you know all this stuff?
We just got wired into the system, sir.
Oh, well, I'd like to order a couple of your double meat special pizzas.
Sure thing. There'll be a new $20 charge for this, sir.
What do you mean?
Sir, the system shows me that your medical records indicate that you have high blood pressure and extremely high cholesterol. Luckily, we have a new agreement with your national health care provider that allows us to sell you double meat pies as long as you agree to waive all future claims liability.
What?
Do you agree, sir? You can sign the form when we deliver, but there is a charge for processing. The total is $67 even.
$67?
That includes the delivery surcharge of $15 to cover the added risk to our driver of traveling through an orange zone.
I live in an orange zone?
Now you do. Looks like there was another robbery on Montrose yesterday. You could save $48 if you ordered our special sprout submarine combo and picked it up yourself. Comes with tofu sticks. Those are very tasty, sir. Good value, too.
But I want double meat.
Well, I'm sure you can afford the $67 then. You just bought those tickets for Hawaii. They weren't cheap, eh? Oh, but I see you checked out the budget beach farm at the library last week. Up to you, sir.
All right. I'll get the sprout subs.
Good choice, sir. Gotta watch that waist if you're hitting the beach, eh? 42 inches. Wow. Man, I'd say tofu and sprouts is like required.
That's how much?
Just between you and me, there's a $3 off coupon on this month's Total Men's Fitness magazine. Your wife Betty subscribes
You know that a lot of people online have a lot of information about you, your shopping preferences, your priorities, what you've bought, sites you've visited, those types of things. And it's great for you to have that information as well. Just be careful how you use that information. The next thing is viral marketing. And viral marketing is just making it very easy for people to be able to tell other people about what you've got. On your website, you're going to have great content. You know, you're going to have podcasts, you're going to have videos, you're going to have specials, packages, whatever it is that you've got that is great content on your website. You want to make it very easy for people to be able to tell other people about it. So this is viral marketing, the tell a friend type of technology. Here's an example. Lehigh Valley's here today. And in visiting their website, found a great example of viral marketing. You just make it super easy, because what happens is if you don't use viral marketing on your website, people say, oh, well, I must tell so-and-so about that the next time I see them. They don't remember. And then even if they do remember, the person that they told doesn't remember the next time they get on a computer. When you use viral marketing, they're a click away. The people that they send the message to are going to open it because it's coming from a friend. It's seen as an unbiased third-party recommendation of whatever it is that you've got on your site. So use the viral marketing and use it effectively. The next thing that you need to have in your website is you need to have interactivity. Interactivity is just absolutely critically important today. Interactivity, just people need to engage with your website. The more they interact with your website, the longer they stay. The longer they stay, the more the brand is reinforced. The longer they stay, the more likely they are to give you permission to send them email because they feel more a part of your community. The longer they stay, the more likely they are to tell other people about you. And the longer they stay, the more you are first of mind when they go to buy or make that reservation. So you really want to have that interactivity. It really crosses a whole lot of reasons that you want to have. With interactivity, there are all kinds today. Just gone absolutely crazy with interactive elements that you can have on your website. And although there are all kinds, don't do all kinds. What you need to do is you need to step back to top. Step back and take a look at your target markets, your objectives, your products and services, and determine which types of interactivity are right for you. Just because it's interactivity doesn't mean you should do it. So you really need to always focus back on top. But I'm going to cover as many of these things as I can and talk to you a little bit about a number of these. Podcasts. Podcasts are just, I think, absolutely fabulous and essential for the travel and tourism industry. With podcasts, what are they? They're an audio file or a video file that is available on your website. But if you do it properly, not only is it available on your website, but you give people the instructions to be able to download it to their own computer. And once they've downloaded it to their own computer, they can then move it over to their cell phone, to their MP3 player, to their Nano, whatever device they want to look at that content on. Now, you see, the reason why this is so important is because think about today's consumer. Today's consumer wants what they want, when they want, how they want. They want it yesterday, and they want it at the best price. So, although they might see that great video on your website, let's say that you're talking about, weddings in Savannah. It might be that they're very interested in that video content that you've got, but they don't have time. They're at their office. But if they can download it and then look at it while they're on the subway on the way home, or look at it while they're on a flight someplace, that's making it easily accessible to them. So when you've got the podcast, don't just have it on your website. Give them the instructions and encourage people to download it. Provide those details. But there are all kinds of great content that you can have in terms of podcasts. Think about your destination. Always go back, your target markets. What would be great content for each one of those target markets? It could be information about your destination. It could be a walking tour. It could be a driving tour, suggested itinerary. It could be information about your sports facilities. It could be information on your packages. It could be information on your wineries. There are all kinds of different podcasts that you can have, all kinds of different types of content. And as well with content, what you can do is you can have it professionally done, or you can do it yourself. Very easy to do either way and relatively inexpensive. So what you want to do is make sure that the podcasts are appropriate given your target markets, your objectives, your products and services. And when you've got the podcast, it's not just a matter of having it. You've got to leverage every single thing that you've got on the web these days. A lot of people look at things, they say, great, I heard, podcasts are great, we've got them. Or a blog is great, we've got it. or having video. Great, we've got it. But it's not what you've got. It's what you do with what you've got where you're going to see the benefit. So with a podcast, just to give you an example, again, what you want to do is make it easily accessible. Make it something that people can access from multiple different places throughout your website. I'm going to show you a little bit an example of a widget that Madden does that makes your media accessible everywhere throughout your website very quickly and easily. Add new podcasts on a regular basis. If they've come in and viewed your podcast, there's no reason for them to come back. Make your podcast the repeat traffic generator. So what you want to do is add your podcasts on a regular basis and let people know that you're going to add them. It's your weekly podcast. Let people know how often you're going to update it and encourage them to come back. As well, add permission marketing. Hey, we have new podcasts all the time. If you'd like to be notified when we've got a new podcast, join our e-club. And we'll be happy to include that in our newsletter when it goes out. So there now is a reason for them to give you that permission. You leverage everything that you do. You might want to have an RSS feed on there where they can subscribe to be notified when there are new podcasts added to that particular page. Give them the download instructions, nice, plain, simple download instructions that encourages them to do that. Encourage them to do the viral marketing. Tell a friend about this podcast. Not tell a friend about this page, because people subliminally understand what they read. So tell a friend about this podcast, not tell a friend about our site. Social bookmarking. We talked, a number of people were talking throughout the conference about all of the social media and the social bookmarking, and everybody's got MySpace or Facebook or something. So what you want to do is just make it very easy for them to be able to add that page of your site to their priorities and preferences through the social bookmarking technology. So those are just a few things that you'll do, the formula for podcast success. But what you want to do is not only leverage it on your website, but you want to leverage it outbound as well, because that podcast, you develop it once for yourself, but it's great content in front of your target market in a whole lot of other places as well. So you'll have it on your website, but you'll have it in a number of other places as well. Think about other sites that you can partner with that they would love to have your podcast as content on their website. So what you're looking for is sites that have the same target market that you do, but non-competing products or services. So think about sites that would love to have your content on their site and provide the podcast to them. Think about integrated content. All kinds of magazines, offline magazines have an online presence, and what they do is they're looking for integrated content to kind of add value to that particular electronic magazine or that article. So take a look and see where you can develop a podcast that's going to profile your destination, but will also be great content in, Southern Living or Midwest Living or Budget Travel or any of these magazines that get your target market as readership. Put the podcast on your blog if you've got one. Make sure that you put it in the podcast directories. There are these podcast directories where people go to do a search to find if there's a podcast on something that they're interested in. So get your podcasts up into the podcast directories. Get it up on YouTube. I mean, there are all kinds of places. You don't just do it. You do it and then you leverage it to maximize the benefit of everything that you do. RSS, really simple syndication. With really simple syndication, it's just an easy way that people can subscribe to a particular type of content that you've got on your website, and then they're notified every time you add new content to that particular area. So I have the RSS. Social bookmarking. I heard some staggering statistics about the social media. Social bookmarking, a lot of the tools are just so free and easily accessible. Social bookmarking, to make your site easily accessible to people for their MySpace or their Facebook, you go to a little tool like this, a social bookmark creator, and what you do is you tick off all of the social bookmark sites that you'd like to make your site available quickly and easily for. So what you do is you tick it off, it gives you the code. You then insert that code on your website, and then this is what it looks like. It's free, very quick, very easy. And so then what you do is you make the pages of your site very quickly and easily accessible to people through their preferred social bookmark. Here's an example of a project that I've been working on lately. It's my eLearning University. But you notice on the bottom, on the right-hand side, the social bookmarking. I use that free tool. Inside of about 37 seconds, we developed the code to be able to insert on that site. There are so many things that are out there that are free, easily accessible, that add value to your website. Widgets. How many people know about widgets? That's, a whole lot of hands out there. Do you know that if you go to Yahoo Widgets, they have over 40,000 widgets? Widgets are great little tools. Sometimes they're free, sometimes there's a small fee for them. But these widgets provide great content for your website. A widget might be the temperature in your particular destination. So you can go in, download that widget, put it on your website, and there everybody can see what the temperature is in Sacramento anytime they visit your website because it's constantly being updated. But that content might be great content, doesn't cost you anything. But there are all kinds of great widgets that are out there. I'm going to show you a couple of examples. This is the one that I made reference to a little bit earlier. As I was traveling through the trade show area, I saw all kinds of great content providers, and I picked up a few of them to put into the presentation. And now Madden has this great Wowjet, and I think it's something like $89 one-time cost to have this Wowjet. And the Wowjet gives people on your website access to all of your media. If you notice the Arizona, that is what it looks like, the Wowjet. Nice and small, doesn't take up too much real estate, and you can put that on every single page of your website to make all of your multimedia accessible from every single page. Now, if somebody were to click on that little Wowjet, what happens is it becomes a little larger, and then it gives them access to your videos, your blogs, your podcasts, whatever it is that you want to put in that Wowjet. But it's just a great little tool, a great little widget, Wowjet, to be able to access all of your multimedia, and at $89. Here's another little widget. This is a voice over IP dialer, and this is a great tool to be used more for hotels, I think, than DMOs, but possibly for DMOs. What happens is you can brand this with your own logo, and so when you brand it with your own logo, it's available through your website. So just walk with me here. A hotel has this. Let's say that the Marriott decides that they want to do this. How many of you logged on to the Marriott, to the high-speed internet? When you get to that page, what you would see is this voice over IP dialer that you can download to your computer, branded with the Marriott, and then you can take it with you when you leave the Marriott. Then anytime you're connected to any high-speed anywhere, you can make a telephone call. All you need then is a headset plugged into your computer, and you can make free long-distance calls anywhere you'd like to go. Now, what does that do? It's a great little tool, but every time you use that tool, the Marriott brand is there. So it's just a great little tool. There are all kinds. Here's another. This again is a Madden tool. It's their iBrochure. And the iBrochure is a fabulous internet marketing tool. With the iBrochure, it looks like a regular brochure, and you can turn page by page by page. And we're talking interactivity here. You want people to stay longer on the website. So as they scroll page by page by page, or they can click on that table of contents on the left-hand side. But it has also integrated a number of other great features. It's got the Tell a Friend, the viral marketing already incorporated. Bookmark this site now, call to action. You can have this designed to be search engine friendly. So there are all kinds of great benefits and things that you can do with the iBrochure. Great interactivity. Another is the interactive mapping. Interactive mapping, fabulous for destination marketing organizations. You can have an interactive map of your destination, and it would probably encompass the whole of your destination. And what you can do, this is one example. There are a number of different opportunities of interactive maps. But with this, what you've got is a legend down the left-hand side. So you can click on the green button and see all the hotels, or you can click on the blue button and see all of the spas, and click on the yellow button and see all of the vacation rentals, however you want to develop your interactive map. And then what happens is, once you've decided what you want to look at, as you mouse over any of those little dots, more information comes up on the hotel or the spa or the shopping center. But this keeps people on your website, and they can see much better, where do I want to stay when I go to that location? If it's a sports team, as an example, and they see where all of the skating rinks are, then they can see what hotels are in close proximity, those types of things. So it provides great tool, great customer service for your website visitors, but also the interactivity keeps them on your website. It keeps them engaged. And the longer you keep them there, the better the chance you have of getting the business. So this is an example of an interactive map. Navtech was another exhibitor, and I asked Navtech to send me this graphic. They did. They've got another version of an interactive map, and it works very much the same way in that you can see where all the hotels and the attractions and things, but they've got a really nice feature in that they've got the mobile as well. So you can use their interactive map, you can go mobile, and you can have access to all of the same information on your mobile device. And we're going to see a lot more in the next couple of years in the whole mobile side of things. It's really just starting to take off. With mobile, what we're starting to see, Web 2.0, there are all kinds of definitions of Web 2.0, but one that resonates with me is where we use a lot of different technologies together. You know, we've got the cell phone, we've got GPS, we've got the internet, we've got email, we've got all kinds of different technologies that can work together today. With mobile marketing, it provides a great opportunity to integrate all of those technologies and do some good location-based marketing. So as an example, I mean, the examples that we saw already of that mapping, that's great location-based. It's giving you information on what's around you. But also, what can happen is I can have that cell phone, if I subscribe to the service, in my pocket, and as I stroll through a shopping center, if my cell phone vibrates, look at it, and it tells me that there's a great 2-for-1 special at Starbucks. And hey, I'm right outside of Starbucks. Isn't that interesting? It's because it's got GPS, it knows where I am, and I subscribe to the service, and they're an advertiser for that service. So that provides a great opportunity for people while they're in that particular area. We're going to see, and I heard somebody mention this in one of the sessions that I attended at the conference, but about the cell phone, the next version is going to have the barcode reader. And so what does that mean? If you look at all of the technologies working together, you can go into Circuit City or Best Buy or whatever, and you see a printer that you'd like to buy. You scan it with your cell phone, it goes out to the internet and comes back and tells you where the best price is for that particular printer within a 3 to 5 mile radius. So things are going to change very, very quickly on the internet with all of these different technologies. Here's an example of somebody who's using it already. This is a ski hill in Collingwood in Canada, Blue Mountain. And so what they do is they'll text message you the ski conditions every single morning if you subscribe to their service. Another example, I was visiting in the trade show ITI, and they were showing me this great technology that they have that they're already using it in Brunswick Isles in Georgia. And what this does is it provides out information to the user before, during, and after the visit. So before, it gives them information in preparation for the visit. During, it gives them information provided by local restaurants, hotels, attractions, etc., coupons, and those types of things. And then after, it can even ask them what did they like most about their trip. So there are all kinds of great mobile opportunities, being available more and more every single day. Now, so what we've got in our formula for e-business success, we've got the e-business model and the right website. And the right website, there's a lot of things that come into play. But the third piece that you need to have is traffic. And you need to have the traffic as well. You need to have a strategy to generate that traffic. You need to have all three things to be successful online. You miss any one of these three things and you cannot be successful. You can have a great website and a great e-business model, but if you don't have any traffic to your website, you're not going to do any business. You can have a ton of traffic, but if they don't like what they see when they come to the website, you're not going to do any business. And you can have a ton of traffic and a great website, but if it's not easy for them to do what you want them to do, you're not going to do as much business as you otherwise would. Does that make sense? So what you need to do is you need to address all three of these things to be successful online. But the nice thing is that as long as you do address all three, you can't help but be successful. If you've got a ton of targeted traffic visiting your website and the website is designed all around their needs, wants, and expectations, it's everything that they're looking for, and it's easy for them to make that buying decision, you're going to do a lot of business online. So very important that you address all three of these. And I'm just going to go real quickly about the traffic because there are many, many, many ways to generate the traffic. You can build the traffic, optimize your site for the search engines, and see traffic through the search engines, through your email, through your e-club, the mail that you send out to the people that have given you permission, through your blog posts, partnering with other sites to generate traffic to your site, link strategy, list rental. There are all kinds of ways that you can generate traffic to your own site by building it yourself. But one of the things that I would challenge you to think about is how can you make it easier on yourself? How can you do more with less. So think about how you can find that targeted traffic and then get in front of it. The traffic is already someplace. Your targeted traffic is already someplace. You need to figure out what those places are and then figure out how to get in front of it. So things like electronic magazines that are being read by your target market. Think about how you can get some integrated content in there or advertise in there or submit articles to those electronic magazines and always have a link back to your website. Think about pay-per-click, paid advertising on the search engines. Consumer-generated media, the big buzz these days. I mean, everybody's talking about consumer-generated media. And it constitutes all kinds of different things. Blog posts, videos up on YouTube, rating sites. You know, the consumers are talking all over the place on the web these days. So you really need to have a strategy on how you're going to capitalize on the consumer-generated media. And it's pretty crazy out there to try and get a good handle on where you really should be. But think about, always go back, target markets, objectives, products, and services to determine your strategy on consumer-generated media. Think about partnering with sites that have your target market already visiting, or those sites that have a very large database of your target market, and see how you can partner with them to get your profile out in front of those people and get the traffic to your website. Think about who wants your content. You know, there are all kinds of travel agencies out there that are probably have big databases that are looking for e-specials and packages and things like that. Think about sites that are looking for the podcasts or articles. So just think about who wants what you already have, and think about incorporating that into your internet marketing strategy. Advertising, buzz, there are all kinds of ways to find your target market already and figure out a way then to get in front of that traffic. So again, it comes down to this formula for e-business success, having the right e-business model, the right website, and the right traffic. I'm going to close with this video. This is, I found this and talked with the Vancouver Aquarium just a short while ago. Earlier this week I was in Louisiana. And what this is an example of somebody who got the formula and got the formula right. So this video was taken by a tourist at the Vancouver Aquarium. And they sent it into the Vancouver Aquarium, and it circulated from desk to desk to desk. And people thought it was kind of cute to see these sea otters holding hands. Now this is actually a survival technique. When they are floating, they don't want to float away from the group, so they hold hands to stay together. And so it was floating around. Everybody thought it was kind of cute till it hit the desk of David Calder. Now, David knew the power of the internet. He knew the power of YouTube and the power of this particular video. Now, these two are Nyack and Milo. These are the names of the two sea otters. Now, this one here, the blonde one, is Nyack. And Nyack is actually the last known survivor of the Exxon Valdez spill. He went to the aquarium at 6 weeks old on the verge of death, and they brought Nyack back to as you see him today. Now, as a result of this video going online, just one small video, one small aquarium in Vancouver, Canada, what happened was there were over 11 million views of this video on YouTube. 11 million views. Over 500,000 links to it. The second most viewed animal video in YouTube history. And the Vancouver Aquarium was given their own channel by YouTube. It was seen on Letterman. It was seen on Oprah and Entertainment Tonight. And they didn't even take the video. A tourist took the video and provided it to them. So visitors from all over the world come in to see Nyack and Milo. Kids come in. They're so excited to see Nyack and Milo. And all from this one little video. So I'm going to close with that, and I've just been waiting, chomping at the bit, to say this about internet marketing. You ought to do it. Thank you very much.